Let's finish this.
Show me what you got!
Nicely done.
Another glorious battle.
Who's there?
Not bad for a scholar.
Keep going. I'm down here.
Quiet as a soul. Kai, weapons ready. Watch your ass!
Oh, finally a rescuer. I was beginning to lose my voice. You should ask Vidara that. Oh, 1 minute, I'm engrossed in my research. The next thing I know, whew, my workshop is in this damn pit. Didn't have a clue. They're clearly godless. I can't imagine how old they must be. Quilici warned Vidaro that the roots would swallow the soil. As usual, nobody listened to him. So, here we are. We've never had plants like these. I'm no botanist, but even I can tell that something's not right. I'm not going anywhere yet. You, on the other hand, you might be able to help me. My notes are down here somewhere. They contain priceless data on the wildlife around Fior.
Your work is too important to leave in a pit. The people have a right to know.
You, of all people, would understand the gravity of this. As soon as I dug them out, a gang of sporlings ran off with them. I can heave myself topside in time, but I'm in no shape to fight. If it makes you feel better, fine. They ran into the ruins. Now hurry. I can't have a sporling eating my life's work. For all I know, they could be halfway to Nakutadek by now.
Right behind you.
Here it comes.
Alive? I mean, you're back. Ah, did you find my notes? Ah, yes. The cover's a little worse for wear, but the notes are intact. My findings on squirrel essence are going to change everything. Everything! What's not clear, I'm researching squirrel essence. I've nearly proved my theory, too. As everyone knows, squirrel brains grow and shrink in accordance with the nut season.
I've heard this lecture 100 times, and I never get tired of it.
So I thought, what if a squirrel's soul shrinks too? Huh? I propose that the size of our soul corresponds to our brain mass. If it weren't for this sinkhole, I would have already submitted it. I can't imagine any of my specimens are still intact, and I'll have to find somewhere to sleep. But I've got my notes. I can try again. Take this. Buy yourself something nice. It's the least I can do.
You won't find animancy like this in the Valian Republics. Never had a chance. Dodge this! Good shooting, Kai. I hope no one minds. I made myself at home.
Don't mind at all. It's good to have you. Tell us a bit about yourself, Giada.
Let's see. A few things about me. I enjoy long conversations. Careful with that thing. We're not even sure what it does. And some of us have to sleep here. Let me think. Let's see. A few things about me. I enjoy long conversations, and my favorite season is autumn. Apparently, I also snore, which annoys some people.
So do I. Glad it won't just be me now. We should pitch our tents on either side of Marius. The drone really helps him sleep.
Right, that's me. And the first rule of camp is never listen to Kai. He's a blessed Nimdude of the highest order.
If anyone needs their soul tinkered on, don't hesitate to ask. I'm rather good with souls.
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you again for letting me join you. An animancer never misses an opportunity to embrace the unknown. Still, being an animancer feels different without Fior mes Ivèrno. For the first time, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. You can't know how much I appreciate that. At least now I have a place I can call my own. Believe me, that's plenty. Not to change the topic, but this little adventure of ours, will it be dangerous? Well, I never expected to live forever. My mother and father taught me how to defend myself, among other things. When you need me, I'll be ready. I hope so anyway. What do you want to know? I suppose you deserve to know, after what I put you through. My mother wanted to expand Fior's agriculture. Feeding Emerald Stair wasn't ambitious enough. She wanted to feed the world. She thought she could break the wilderness, using animancy as the whip. Turn the living lands into a garden. Anything's possible, but there are significant problems to overcome. After my father put the finishing touches on the phantasmal focus, she was impatient to get started. After all, whoever controls the spirit of the living lands has nature in the palm of their hand. Indeed, a world run by animancy. Emerald Stair was just the beginning to her. My father thought she was brilliant. Others thought she was mad. I think she was a victim of her own ambition. She wanted so much, and there was so little time to achieve it. Theoretically, her plan should have worked. But the living lands had other ideas. When she used the phantasmal focus, theory collided with reality. Everything went wrong. I was 17. That makes it... Gods, has it been 13 years already? After they died, I wouldn't go near a lab. It was ages before Quilici got me to crack open a book. I have a lot of catching up to do in my studies. Need to make up for lost time. I can't rule anything out, but I suspect the Dream Scourge had something to do with it. It lives in the essence of the living lands, corrupting whatever it touches. And if I'm right, that means it's been here a long time, or the forces behind it. My mother and father didn't know the risks, and I can't stop thinking about them. Caution and experience will stop us from repeating their mistakes. No. To my knowledge, the accident was no everyday occurrence. But neither was the experiment. My mother transgressed on nature, on existence itself. Still, I don't understand what went wrong. When I do, then I can finish her work. That's all I care to say for now. At least, about this topic. I thought my family's research could help Emerald Stair. That it could banish the Dream Scourge from our lands. Of course, Vidaro wouldn't even give me a chance. He was afraid of history repeating itself. Still, I'm hopeful. This legacy of mine could change animancy as we know it. And something tells me I'm close to a breakthrough. Closer than my mother ever got. I hardly think your Emperor would approve. Good thing he's on the other side of the world. No Animancer has engineered an ecosystem before. Maybe, with a little luck, I could be the first. That little island off of Dawnshore? None that I know of. Ignato Castor led the Valian trading company in the Deadfire archipelago. Among other things, he invested in the future of animancy, and apparently he had interests here. He had some ideas about moving great distances in the blink of an eye. As far as I know, he was unsuccessful. Animancy and ambition are a dangerous mixture. Intoxicating, but dangerous. I hope not. I wouldn't want my family associated with speculation, corruption, and whatever else happened in the Deadfire. We have enough problems already. Afraid not. I've heard a lot of contradictory stories coming out of the Deadfire in recent years. Some say Castor is still in power, while others think his second-in-command took over the Valian trading company. You know how it is. Wherever there's conflict, there's bound to be misinformation. Unfortunately, that's all I know. Whether or not Castor succeeded, I don't think it's folly to dream. Now that you mention it, I did try and awaken my soul, to become fully aware of my past lives. Every Animancer tries, and fails. It's practically a rite of passage. So, one evening, I crept into the workshop and cobbled an invention together from spare parts. Amateur work. Then I turned it on. Big mistake. The next thing I knew, it was morning. I was floating in the fountain, and my head was pounding like a drum.
You don't need animancy for that. Just rum and a crew on shore leave.
That answers a lot of questions, honestly.
Sometimes I wonder, what if it actually worked? What if all of this happened before, and I'm just reliving the events of a past life? I try not to think about it too much. Ah, a simple question with a very complicated answer. The device is attuned to the spiritual energy of the living lands, much like a compass to magnetic north. But essence is chaotic by nature. As you saw with your own eyes, imposing order on chaos is not without risk. Not for long. Don't get me wrong, this invention is a small miracle, but it isn't enough. The phantasmal focus was supposed to be the start of something grand. One lever of a device that exists only in theory. Perhaps it should remain that way. I'll tell you whatever I know. Ah, you want a story? Very well. Settle in. It all started about 50 years ago, in the great city of Spirento. A young nobleman by the name of Maxim Vidaro sought to inherit a distinguished government position. Unfortunately, yes. A distant cousin cheated Maxim out of the title. He was devastated, his political future uncertain. No one lifted a finger to help. Not the banks, not the merchants, or the politicians. So, Maxim did what Valians do best. Not exactly, but close. Maxim plotted his revenge. They say he prayed to Scan, the effigy, god of rebellion and defiance, to ask for a blessing. And Scan answered. take their best and brightest, their heirs, their scholars, their futures, to the far side of the world, never to return. And Maxim did just that. He gathered a following and left the Valian republics, giving thanks to his dark god. We prefer to call it an intellectual haven of free thinkers, but it's true that most of us are animancers. Spirento was full of animancers, many of them in debt, and Maxim was a wealthy patron. They needed each other. So the animancers followed Maxim all the way out here, including my parents, Quilici, and others around town. At the time, this place was an animancer's dream. No oversight, limited government, and soil rich with essence. 40 years later, Maxim vanished. They say the effigy came to collect his soul. Nonsense, of course. His son has been in charge ever since. For better or worse. We have that much in common. He and I might squabble in public from time to time, but we're both just figuring it all out as we go. Thanks for listening. We should do this again.
I love a good ghost story. Just not the dreams I have afterwards.
Hadn't heard all that before. Probably a lesson or two in there.
One of these days you'll have to tell me an Ivèrno ghost story. You learn a lot about people by what scares them. Thanks for talking. I wish you could have seen Emerald Stair in better times.
What was it like? I've only passed through a few times over the years.
The evenings were cool. Fish leaped into our nets. Emerald Stair was everything.
Pleasant and abundant. Sounds like the fables old trenchers used to tell about Deadfire. Paradise.
I heard you were stationed in the Deadfire.
Sure was. I was sent out as soon as I was old enough to leave home.
Is it true what they say? That Aethys woke up a dormant volcano?
That was after my time. But, wait. Why do you want to know?
No reason.
Magrin's breath. Please don't start thinking of ways to set off a volcano.
No one is setting off any volcanoes. How would that even work? Oh, I bet I'd be really good at it.
This is no ranger camp, envoy.
This is taking too long. We should have gotten orders by now.
Inquisitor Lune is taking her time. I think she wants to see how the envoy performs. She has a vested interest in that.
Then forgive my impatience, brother.
No need. Eagerness is a virtue, not a vice.
If it isn't the Ivèrno envoy.
We weren't expecting reinforcements. Either you've come early, or more likely, you shouldn't be here.
Something's wrong. The Steel Garrotes have no business in Emerald Stair.
Tell you what, turn around, and Inquisitor Ludwig doesn't have to hear about this unfortunate little mix-up. Nice try. If you don't already know, then I'm really not allowed to say.
We have no quarrel with you, but we are trying to be discreet. Let's part as friends and keep it that way.
Then you're not leaving. What a pity. Normally I'd think twice about spilling godlike blood, but for you I'll make an exception.
My turn.
Subtle as it is. Defenses up!
Envoy, when we first met, I thought I was gonna keep you out of trouble.
I heard something. It's the other. Check the coming to the left.
On your right!
Don't you die on me!
Right flank!
Careful! To the left! Get around! You won't get Watch the left!
Very wrong.
That was a close one.
You take lead.
Good fight.
Unseen, unheard.
Look alive. This is where we make our stand.
It's the end.
Let's get them! Stop right there! Enemy
Haven't had a battle like that in years. Though I didn't feel this many aches and pains in my soldiering days. At least we came out of this in better shape than those guys. Whatever they were up to, we put an end to it. Right? Yeah. Reminds me of what Garrota built up when we went into Deadfire. You know, that's a smart idea. This is why I was always in the trenches rather than the strategy tent.
They were going to attack the city. Unbelievable. We stopped them. Bought ourselves time. That's what matters. That'll show him. Marius, could I examine your soul?
Oh, no. You'll use none of that spooky soul business on me.
But I promised to be gentle.
What are you even looking for?
Nothing. Anything. I'm sure I'll know when I find it.
And so will the rest of us.
Don't you trust me?
You? Sure. It's all the animancy I have trust problems with.
I'll try not to take that personally. Suit yourself. Between the two of us, thank you for helping Yatsley reach that vase. Maybe it seems like nothing to you, but to her it's everything. When you consider how many Orlans and dwarves there are, it's outrageous that we build so high off the ground. What a pain. Don't let her size fool you. On the inside, Yatsley stands as tall as a mountain. One of these days she's going to change the world, shake things up. And I'll be at her side, grinning like a fool. Anyway, thanks again. What are you so curious about? Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first impressions. Kai is a useful fellow. We need people like him to keep you grounded. Just not too grounded. On the surface, Kai is all charm and confidence. You feel good knowing he's around. But there's something deeper. Something in his core that he guards from everyone. Maybe even himself. Kai wears his confidence like a mask. We all do. No one wants to project their frailties. But in his case, hiding behind it amplifies his better qualities. So I say, let him have his mask. If there's another side to him, he'll show us when he's good and ready. No need to rush a natural process. Marius is working through something. An old wound that hasn't healed. A search for forgiveness? Who knows? He's a tough fellow, but I wouldn't put too much pressure on him. We're all wounded. That's the price of survival in the living lands. Just look at you. Only just got here and you died in the line of duty. You may not be from the living lands, but the island left you a scar to remember. Now, you're just like us. We haven't been together long, but I think I have you figured out. In Paradise, you have a reputation for being an unlawful misfit. This is the frontier, after all. We don't exactly do things by the book. Fior mes Ivèrno tolerates you well enough. No doubt thanks to my influence. Of course, all I know is what you've done. You may not think these choices reflect who you are. At the end of the day, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks. All that matters is how you see yourself. I've spilled all the gossip I know. Ask me again when there's a new face in camp. If I must.
I hope you're ready to sleep with one eye open, because I doubt Ludwig sleeps at all. And after the send-off you gave the Steel Garrota squad in that cave, she'll have it out for you. They aren't interested in building alliances, that's for sure. They're barely willing to cooperate with Hildegard. Normally, I'm not big on turning on your own, but the Steel Garrota take their beliefs too far. I'm glad you didn't let them do it here. Don't let it go to your head. Your kind of clarity is rare. To know in the moment what you've got to do and do it. I envy that.
Kai's always doing things to help others, no matter the cost. It's going to get him killed one day.
You two are gonna make me blush, and purple's not my best color. But, thanks. Just be on the lookout. The Steel Garrota isn't likely to forgive and forget. So did my commanding officers. You're asking me? I'm not much of a gossip. Okay, who do you want to know about? She's got a lot of heart, and she's loyal to her people and their principles, even when it costs her. Giada's lost her home, but kept her resolve. It takes a special kind of person to weather what she has and emerge stronger for it. She'll have a lot to figure out after all this, but she's gonna be okay. I noticed that too. It says a lot. I can't say what I'd want the future of Animancy to look like, but there's no one I'd trust more than Giada to figure it out. Sure. What's on your mind? Nudge me if you hear anything in the woods.
Envoy? Hard to imagine what Giada's going through right now, with her parents and all that. I mean, I have no idea what actually happened there, but she lost her people. She'll need time to get past that. And she deserves it. Right, changing the subject? Right. I'm sure you'll find it absolutely gripping. Go ahead. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. As you know, Kai and I have worked together in the past. It's a blessed miracle he never got me killed. Honestly, he's a good guy. A bit too quick to ask questions for my taste, but Kai's good enough. Tell him I said that I'll cut a hole in your water skins. Ask away. I haven't dealt with Delamgon and blights and such all that much. They usually don't bother you unless you step too far off the trail. Of course, that's pretty much a given in your line of work, so we're all doing things we're not used to doing. Still, if you have a choice between upsetting the forest and not doing that, think about it. Maybe consider that the forest and Emerald Stair are known to hold a grudge. There's a skeleton sitting in a chair out on the coast, west of the Fior docks. No idea what it's doing there, but I'm always curious. Let's see. Water can be a problem out here. Don't drink from the rivers or creeks you find here. They're full of saka. Literally. You can get good water from inside most plants here, especially the larger vines. Or you can tap most of the trees for sap. I always put out some kind of cloth to collect the dew in the morning. That's assuming Kai doesn't take it and use it as a nose rag. Oh, there's another tip. Make sure the people you're traveling with aren't nim dudes. Right, changing the subject? Right. I'm sure you'll find it absolutely gripping. Go ahead. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Giada's a mystery to me. Animancers give me the vricus, and for good reason. Most of them would just as soon turn your soul into jewelry as look at you. Giada seems different. She's smart, thoughtful, and she's got a spine, too. You can tell when someone needs extra help out here, and she doesn't. So, yeah, I don't understand her, but I guess I don't have to, really. You too. I doubt my soul is worth much to an animancer.
Why would you say that about yourself?
It's just that I'm not what I'd call strong-willed. tense all the time, and just not easy to be around sometimes.
Self-knowledge and inner conflict are signs of a powerful soul. Make no mistake, you have a good one.
Thank you. I needed that.
Kai, you've killed people.
Did they not glow in the light? Her parents, her sentinels. To grow and flourish still, life without rot, form without death. The lake dries. Prune the bellflowers. Why should anything wilt? Endless spring. They breathe. They flower. They will never fade. Is the acorn not beloved of the oak? We merely ponder. They sing in peace. Was it not worth the change? Do we not? The bear would have spent its days in the wood. They are strong now, vibrant, better than their frail shells. More than alive, no suffering, no end. Sleep now, dream of beauty and new life. We will speak soon.